Line graph. IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. Band 9 Sample Answers. Line graph. IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. Band 9 Sample Answer. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. The charts below show the changes in ownership of electrical appliances and the amount of time spent doing housework in households in one country between 1920 and 2019. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. You should write at least 150 words. Writing Task 1. Band 9 Model Answer 1. Changes in ownership of electrical appliances. The line graphs show data on the ownership of household devices and the duration of housework done by families in a country between 1920 and 2019. Overall, the possession of household machines has significantly increased since 1930, with refrigerators and vacuum cleaners being owned by every family. As a result, the amount of housework needed to be done by people declined proportionately. According to the first graph, refrigerators were a rare commodity in houses in 1920, but their presence soared afterwards. Since 1980, every family in this country has owned this device at home. A similar but much smoother trend can be observed with vacuum cleaners, which were present in 3 of 10 houses a century ago but are now held by 100% of all homes. Lastly, washing machines were owned by 40% of families in 1920 and reached 70% in just 4 decades. These days, it has remained just over 70%. The second line chart indicates a direct correlation between the acquisition of essential household tools and the amount of work required to be done at home. Household work dropped dramatically from a high of 50 hours per week in 1920 to a mere 10 hours per week in 2019. Writing Task 1. Band 9 Model Answer 2. Changes in ownership of electrical appliances. The first line graph outlines how electrical appliance ownership in households in a country transformed during a century commencing in 1920, while the second chart delineates how it affected the time spent on household work per week by the citizens in this country. As a general trend, with the increasing number of electrical devices possessed by families, their need for doing housework significantly declined. As the graph reveals, only 30% of households in this country used to have vacuum cleaners, and 4 out of 10 families had washing machines in 1920. Refrigerators were a rare electric appliance at the time. Just after 2 decades, however, refrigerator possessions shot up, and almost half of the families owned these 3 electric items in their homes. More families started to own such devices, and at the beginning of the 21st century, almost all households had fridges and vacuum cleaners. The washing machine was owned by more than 70% of families, which slowly but steadily increased until 2019. At that point, there was hardly any family without a refrigerator or vacuum cleaner. It is interesting to note that, with the increasing number of electric appliances owned by families, their need for doing household work like preparing meals, cleaning, and washing clothes has remarkably diminished. While they used to work for 50 hours a week doing such work in 1920, it decreased to 20 hours in 1960 and 10 in 2019.